guys, welcome to Verified Wines. This is going to be the first video of these podcast series that we're going to do. My name is Luis. I have Attilio here, and he's going to share some of his wines with us. So, Attilio, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? What do you do?
Yes, hello. Yeah, I like it. Hello, Luis. Thank you for having me today.
Thanks for joining us.
I mean, it's very awesome. I like it. Actually, it's my first podcast I ever did it.
Likewise.
And yeah, my name is Attilio again. And as probably many of you already figured, I'm from my accent, I'm not from USA.
No?
I'm originally from Italy. I mean, let's say I'm made in Italy.
Yeah.
It was harvest 42 years ago, actually 43 years ago. Sorry for cheating. In Calabria. And then I grew up in Milan. Actually, it's a small city near to Milan, half an hour, called Vigevano. So let's say I was aging in that town. And then I was released in American market 5 years ago, almost 6.
Okay.
And I started this journey not even long ago, 3 years ago. So with this company called Impero, it's Impero Wine Distribution.
Yeah.
We have base in Virginia, in Springfield, and what we do mainly for over 7 years now is a small company, family owned, and basically we make people happy.
Yeah.
We sell happiness, let's say that, in liquid form. We import directly, most of the wine, not all of it, we import directly from Italy. Mainly, say 90-95% of wine we have is
What other countries do you have in the portfolio?
we have Chile, Argentina, Paso Roble, New Zealand, Spain. Just now, we started a couple of months ago. Moldova.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, we have also Moldova. And finally, we've been waiting for a while now. In less than a month, we will have also a French portfolio. So there's a big news. Nobody
Really?
know yet. You are the first one.
Well, I
Yes,
guess we're
we
all the
just
first
signed
ones.
the contract that we will start to do the distribution for this company.
Really? How many SKUs for the French wines?
I would say we have around 150 to 100 label. That is pretty good. And guess what? Don't tell nobody. I'm very knowledgeable about Italian wine. When
Yeah.
it comes to French wine, man, I need help. I need a lots of help.
Yeah.
We will figure. We will do probably some classes.
It's French wine. It'll sell.
We will do it.
Yeah. Why? Let me ask you this: why wine? There's so many other industries, and Italy does very many things well. Why wine?
So actually, I didn't looking for wine. Let's say wine found me.
Yeah.
It was always related to my job. I've been working in the restaurant business since I was 17, with spirits related. Okay, I used to have a collaboration with Campari, with Branca, with work a bit with Lucano, always in Milan. And why wine? So the point is, there is a funny story about my family when I was kids. You know, my stepfather, he loved wine. He always been
Yeah.
drinking wine at least 2-3 bottles a day. Okay, not even a bottle. And he was
2-3 bottles a day.
That's correct. And guess
By
what?
himself, or
Yeah,
Okay.
by itself.
I guess I'm
And
catching up to do.
yeah, the point is, unfortunately, it's no longer with me, and he lived longer till 94 years old, and I guarantee you, until 92, he used to go on the vineyard to take care of the wine. But guess what? He was so jealous about this wine, Zio Peppino. He was so jealous, nobody couldn't touch the wine, ever. Only he.
During the process, or
No.
Even
Even
drinking.
drinking.
Really?
So only in a special occasion like Easter, like I don't know, on Sunday sometime, Christmas Day or New Year's Eve, the family was allowed to drink the wine. Otherwise, he was so jealous, and you couldn't even say nothing about this wine. It was the best wine in the world, even though it was like, I don't know, crap wine.
I was gonna ask, did you get a chance to try it?
I did.
Yeah.
To me, it was like grape juice with alcohol in it, and the strong flavor of grape. It was very young. It wasn't aging wine. It was, I used to make it and drink it, make it and drink. It was a
Yeah.
small vineyard. No, not
Interesting.
even big. Probably no more than 9 or 10 barrel. No more. It was enough for him.
Yeah.
I was
yeah.
very the man.
Yeah.
I was always attracted to wine. I say, damn, why he loves so much wine? Plus, related with my job and restaurant business, people used to come in my restaurant and ask for wine more than cocktail. In Italy, there is a big culture for wine,
Right.
more than unless you
I've
come
heard.
from a big city, say Milan or Rome, people are into spirits and cocktail, but in the countryside, small town, it's all about wine. It's all about, we are so proud, and the individuality you can find in each region. You know, we have 20 region. Each region have this own grape variety, more than 400 grape variety, and each region they're so proud of their grape. Let's say if you go in Veneto, don't even talk bad about Prosecco.
Yeah.
If you go in Piedmont, don't even talk bad about Nebbiolo or Barbera. No, they will kill you. They're very proud. And don't even say the wine is not good.
No.
Just say, I don't like this wine. It's not my style. Okay, it's not my style. If you like it, yes, say you like it. And believe me, even if you like it, you will never figure out why you like it. And I guarantee someone asks you, why you like that wine? I'm not sure why. It's my style. I love it. That's how mainly works.
How does this translate to bringing those wines into the U.S. market?
So again, going back, this happened 2 years ago when I decided, when the pandemic happened, I decided to take a break from restaurant. It was so stressful at that time. It was almost 3 years ago. Time goes by in a blink. And I had this, now I call part of my family, my best friends, Roberto, this is the owner. He was chasing me, he was calling me every day when I was home. I just want to enjoy my house with my pet. So listen, why you don't come and work with me? He was my vendors at that time when I was in this restaurant in DC. So I don't know, man. I like wine. I never been a rep. I don't know that much about wine. I like reading. I like drinking. Then for some reason he convinced me. I started this journey 2 years ago, and I found out I love it. What I love the most is connect me with Italy. So you need to know that even though I'm here and I love USA, I love the sea, I literally fell in love, I still miss my country.
Yeah,
A lot.
I can imagine, yeah.
And to me, the only way to be connected, it's of course not drinking wine every day. Otherwise, I will be alcoholic.
3 bottles a day.
Is talk about wine and reading about wine. Okay, and not by myself. So we create also this group that we do with you, and thank you for that. We are now at the 5th class. That's the Italian
sixth class, yeah.
It's the Italian wine tour. That to me is not. I'm not a teacher. I don't teach.
Right.
Okay. I like lead the guest, the client, to this trip, to this journey in Italy. Is the way to me to remember my country.
Exactly.
Okay,
And
talk
that's what
about
I tell
it.
people too about the class. I
Yeah.
tell Attilio does a great job of just not teaching a class where you feel like you're in a classroom. You're just sharing your country
idea
with us.
Yeah,
That's
sharing
really
idea,
cool.
sharing a lifestyle,
Yeah.
sharing how people live there. Okay, what they usually do, what they usually drink and eat based on the city you are, the region. And this allow me to and somehow be close to Italy.
Nice.
That's many. It's a kind of selfish stuff.
Yeah. Hey, it works.
But again, I love sharing myself selfish with everybody.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
it makes me happy.
I can imagine. Last personal question I would ask: what keeps you motivated, and what keeps you kind of hungry to learn more and more about wine and continue in this path that you've taken in the wine industry?
I mean, here's the point. If you stop learning and like you get boring with life.
Yeah.
Okay, you always need to have something that you like it. Okay, an interest. Okay, otherwise it would be very boring. I'm not the kind of guy boring. I always like dynamic day. This is one of the reasons actually why I choose this job, because you don't go always at your office or your restaurant, but it's very dynamic, and believe me, your day change. Consistency.
Yeah.
Okay? The appointment it's rescheduled, or you're late, or something coming up. Okay, that's what I like it. Okay, you don't have a real schedule.
Right.
That's what I really love it, and
More freedom.
and way more freedom, and I feel that this passion growing day by day. The more I learn, the more I want to learn. The more I read, and the more excited I am. And believe me, that is kind of, I shouldn't say, but I learn a lot about Italy and region. Be outside of Italy.
What keeps you motivated in the wine industry? What keeps you hungry to learn more? I mean, what I've learned is once you learn something about wine, you have to unlearn it, because there's always an exception or somebody does it differently. So you can't just, it's not written in stone. You know, it's really written with pencil.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to wine, you never get boring.
Right.
Okay, there is always something to learn, and especially when it comes to Italian wine, that it's a very small country, but they have so many again grapes, and it's not only about grapes. It's the terroir,
Right.
the climate, the way you make the wine.
Right.
Okay, the winemaker, and the law. The Italian law in Italy, the wine law is so crazy, it keep changing. Okay, and sometimes changing also based on the climate problem we have it. You know, the climate changes, so you need to adjust the law. Otherwise, would be
What's a
low
good example
production.
of a law recently that's kind of been like that for a while and it's kind of changed?
So what happened now? Let's take for example the prosecco. So what happened with the prosecco? No, I mean I can imagine happen for that, but in the past 2 3 years, especially here in the American market, the prosecco went up on price drastically. It was at least $5 to $6 $8 on the shelves
Yeah,
more.
I've seen some prosecco's in the
It's
$20 range.
it's very this was because this happened because we have this huge area DOC and DOCG. There is 11 commune in Veneto, DOC and 2 DOCG, and total are 11, 9 DOC, 2 DOCG. In Veneto, what happened, the demand that we have all around the world with Prosecco is way higher than the production. Okay, that region is not enough to produce Prosecco. There is not enough Prosecco for everybody. There is shortage.
Yeah, yeah.
And I also believe this was, I mean, along with pandemic we had and the climate change, the price went up. Now what they did in Italy, they passed this law. I'm not sure if it was 2 or 3 years ago or probably last year. They created a new DOC. Okay, that I didn't even know before. I discovered not even a couple of months ago. And this new DOC is in Trentino Alto Adige. They took this big land in Trentino, okay, that is, I believe it's called Greve area, and they start to plant the Prosecco. Okay, because what they found out, the soil there in Trentino in that area, it's exactly like the soil you can find in the Prosecco area.
How close is it to the prosecco area in Veneto?
It's the next region. You have Veneto
So it's not too
Northeast.
far.
No, you have Veneto and then you have Trentino Alto Adige.
Okay. North, south.
Sorry, Friuli Venezia Giulia. Did I say Trentino?
Yeah, I
Friuli
think so.
Venezia Giulia. Sorry about that. Damn, my bad. Got it. It's Friuli. In Friuli, there's this big region called Grave, subzone.
Yeah.
And what they did, they planted there. And guess what? The Prosecco is named Prosecco not only for the grape, but also for the place. And back in the day, Prosecco, I mean, still a city in Friuli. There is a city called Prosecco, and there where we assume the Prosecco come back in the day.
Right.
So they say, why don't plant it back again there? And fortunately, in a couple of years, probably the price go down. Hopefully,
Yeah.
maybe no,
yeah.
maybe yes. But I'm sure
Once
there
the
will be
demand
more.
reaches,
I'm sure there will be more Prosecco for everybody.
yeah.
Even though it's not enough here in USA. You know, Prosecco is the most selling product in terms of liquid product you can find in the USA market.
Right. More than vodka, more than anything, right?
Anybody, anything else, more
Yeah.
than anything else. And it also makes sense because Prosecco, you can drink Prosecco, you know,
Yeah.
not all day, but
Bottomless mimosas. I'm sure that
Yeah,
that plays a
bravo.
big role with that.
bravo, you can drink the Prosecco with your brunch. Okay,
Yeah.
you can mix it, okay, with the Bellini, with the Rossini, with the peach Prosecco. Then you drink Prosecco when you celebrate it.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
any birthday or graduation day, what do you drink? You drink Prosecco, it's more affordable than drinking champagne. Cut the word champagne, please. To drink champagne is way more affordable.
Yeah.
And an aperitif. What do you drink for aperitif? Most of the time, when you go in a restaurant, what do you order? Especially here in summertime, Aperol Spritz. What's inside the Aperol Spritz?
Or just prosecco.
Yeah, or just Prosecco. And the biggest consumer of Prosecco in USA are still women. Women that are the biggest consumer of Prosecco in entire USA, with over the 47%.
Yeah, I'm
of
glad.
consumer.
I'm glad brunch has been socially acceptable or accepted now by that men can go to brunch and stuff like that. It's no longer cliche, strictly for women. You know?
Yeah.
So I'm glad because I love some bottomless mimosas.
But I still remember when I was a restaurant this year in DC, I guarantee you 95% of my clientele on a Saturday brunch, Sunday brunch, woman.
Yeah,
All of it was a
I believe it.
big piece of the market. And as part of the culture here at the brunch, we don't have in Italy. We don't do brunch. We do breakfast and then we have lunch. Now, yes, things are changing. Let's say
Really?
Milan, where I'm from,
Hmm.
the branch already started probably 10 years ago
Yeah.
to be part of, the
From what I understand,
quotidianity.
Milan is probably more progressive. I mean, there's the fashion
We say
industry and stuff like
cosmopolita.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cosmopolitan. Milan, I see Milan change. I've been working in Milan since I was probably 21, 22
Hmm.
years old. I worked for 15 years. And I saw Milan change a lot, especially after 2015. 2015, we had the Expo in Milan. The Expo 2015. This is this big, how I call it? It's not festival. Uh, Help me.
I'm not from. I've never been to
Expo,
Milan.
Expo. Basically, you have all the country in the world combined
Yeah.
together, okay, and in Milan for over a month, I believe,
Really?
and you can go in this huge, massive area.
Oh, like food expos,
It's
wine
not only
expos,
food; it's
or just
culture, food, drink. It's everything combined
really.
for each country.
That's
Okay.
that's like a once in the year, like one time a year
I
kind of
believe
thing.
they
Or?
do. I'm not into Expo. I believe they do. Well, probably every year or every
Well, that's
5 years.
Amy Riolo. She goes to a lot of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can ask
I
her.
mean, I found out Expo because they did in Milan, but I know probably they do every 5 years. There was in Rome and Berlin and London. I mean, it's a big deal.
Yeah, I can
It's
imagine.
move a lots of money. Expo.
Can imagine.
Yeah, and they start building, and I see Milan change it after 2015.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, let's get to the wines.
Oh
Over
yeah, we have
here.
wine today.
Yeah.
Kind of forgot.
So these are from your portfolio.
Yes, this is
Tell us
actually
where they're
for our
from.
portfolio, and of course, just the name speak itself.
Yeah.
We have Vermentino di Sardegna and Cannonau di Sardegna. Let's talk a bit about Sardinia, and then we get into the wine to make you understand the culture that they have with wine there in Sardinia.
Yeah.
Sardinia, most of American people, they don't even know where it's located in Mediterranean. Okay, it's the second largest region we have in Mediterranean. The biggest one in Sicily. Okay? And Sardinia is, I mean, it's so big. I used to work there. I did 1 year summertime. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was so crazy. And
What was
the
your
beauty
best
of
experience that you have from there?
nightlife, I would say. I
Yeah.
was very young. I was 21, 22. But anyway, yeah, it was great experience. So the beauty of Sardinia, it's the food, first of all. So Sardinia itself, when you go there, you find this very wild. Oh yeah, you can see here.
Yeah. So
You can
that's what I
find
was
this
looking.
very wild.
Because Italy is always a boot kicking
Yeah.
a soccer ball.
Yeah,
That's how.
that's correct. And you find this wild region with the snow white sand on the coastal area, and the center is all natural park. You find state park, okay, all of it, and the most amazing pecorino I ever had in my
Yeah.
life, the pecorino sardo, along with the fish there. The wine in Sardinia is part of the culture, but it's not the main part of the culture. They have the main, I would say, livestock, especially in
Okay.
the center of Italy, and then of course fish. Okay, and also Sardinia is is way far from Italy. It's not only geographically,
Yeah.
but also culturally.
I was gonna ask because
Way
Italy
culturally.
has people don't realize that
Yeah.
different cultures from the north, from the south, different foods. How to from what we know as or from what the U.S. knows as traditional Italian food. How does Sardinia kind of vary from that, or just what do they do that's kind of different?
They have their own personality.
Yeah.
Okay, their own food, their own language. Why is that? It's the beauty of Sardinia again is the individuality they call. What happened in Sardinia, way before the Romans, okay, there was the Carthaginian, okay, then the Roman, and then the Byzantine, and then the Arabic, and then we had the Catalan, okay, in the 1600, okay, all of this culture and all of this language combined together, they made what we now know Sardinia and the Sardo language. And on top of that, was in 1627, I assume 16, Sardinia became part of Italy. I mean, became part of the Savoia family, the Principato di Savoia. At that time, we had the Savoia. Okay, it became part of Italy. Okay, and all of this layer, this culture that we have there, they make what we see now, Sardinia. Okay, and there is a nice quote that I always like it about the Sardinian people. Remember, I learned when I was there. They say, let's see if I remember, all of the stranger they come overseas. See, they call stranger. All the stranger come overseas. Yes, they come, but eventually they will leave. Okay, this will happen in century. Okay, eventually they will leave, and they will leave Sardinian people by themselves with their culture. Okay, with their self. Okay. Plus in Sardinia, what I also love was always a fascinated. There is this, I don't know if you ever heard this word, the nuraghe. Okay, one of the first civilization that they have in Sardinia was the nuraghe civilization. We are talking about 9,000 years ago, between 9,000 and 4,000 years
we're talking
ago.
about prehistoric.
Oh yeah. The nuraghe, but that it's great. Because if you go inside, if you have the chance, I recommend you to go. You will see all around, especially in the south of Sardinia, south and center, is full of this nuraghe. That is like a tower style. It's like a big tower. No, how they call it? Tower?
Yeah,
a
like
torre.
a tower.
Yeah, like a big tower, stone
Yeah.
tower.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
been
yeah,
there
yeah.
for century. Okay, and they still study because nobody know about that. About the nuraghe. Why they were extinct? Sadly, they don't know why, what happened. But what they found out in the Nuraghe area, in Mogoro area, the Mogoro is between Cagliari and
So it's north, south.
I would say in the south.
Okay.
Is in the south. Okay, in the Cagliari area, in Mogoro, they found out that more than 9,000 years ago, they found this huge grave underground that the Nuraghe civilization was using as a fridge, okay, to storage, okay, as a storage, as a cooler storage. They found out seeds inside there, grape seeds. Okay, there was grape seed dated 9,000 years ago. So by DNA,
well, carbon dating puts the Georgians at 3000 BC making wine.
Yeah, I mean, I believe the first one was
that
Georgia.
Italy was the original?
I don't know. I love reading a lot. I love reading a lot and watching, podcasts as well. So I was very fascinated. So hold on, is it true that they find this grape was more than 9,000 years ago? We don't know. Yeah. Maybe yes. But guess what? In this grape, they studied DNA, of course, and they found out that it's Canonau, the Canonau grape. Now there is this kind of debating because Canonau, as most of the people know, is called also Grenache. Yeah. And Grenache is the same DNA, the same clone.
Yeah.
Okay, you have
Garnacha and
Garnacha. Yeah, the Garnacha in Spain, and they made. I mean, it's part of the Rioja wine. Okay, one of the great that you can find inside the Rioja wine. The Garnacha. In French, they call Grenache. Right. That is the one of the main grape used to produce the Chateauneuf du Pape. Okay, it's a very famous grape. But in Sardinia, you have the Canonau. So the Canonau is the same grape, but unlike the Grenache and the Garnacha, is way less fruity forward, more earth and dry and a full body and spicy compared to the Grenache and the Garnacha.
Interesting. Would you say that's the grape itself or the soil that
It's
in Sardinia?
it's the soil. It's
Yeah.
all, of course, it's all about the soil. The reason why the Canonau, so you have this region, Sardinia, where mainly split, when it comes to wine, mainly split in two. You have in the north part of Sardinia, where you planted what we know now, the Vermentino. So
Okay.
the Vermentino is the only DOCG wine.
And that's the grape or
Oh,
what
the
they call the
Vermentino
wine?
is the grape.
Okay.
Vermentino, of course, is the grape. It's not only Sardinia. You can find Vermentino in
Right.
Liguria. You can find Vermentino in Toscana. We assume Vermentino come from France. Again, can be true, can be no.
Right.
You know, always the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
But the Vermentino is the only DOCG we have they have in Sardinia and come from Gallura. Okay, Vermentino di Gallura indeed. And it's completely different than the Vermentino di Sardegna, that is DOC. Okay, the main grape that you find in Sardinia beside the Canonau is the Vermentino. Okay, both are DOC. It's probably the largest DOC we have in Italy because it's an entire island. You have the Canonau, that is Canonau di Sardegna, that make the wine DOC, and you have the Vermentino di Sardegna and Vermentino di Gallura. So the Vermentino di Gallura, unlike the Vermentino di Sardegna, due to the soil, indeed, we'll go back to the soil. That is granite.
Mm-hmm.
Is more a granite soil. What that mean? That the vine need to work hard to find the moisture. Okay, it need to work hard, especially the.
How does that affect the flavor?
It's affect the flavor because the roots they need to be stronger, okay, to go deep down, and this make the wine very super aromatic and complex. This effort that the vine make it allow the grape then to come out very fruity, but at the same time super complex, and the mineral. It's a very mineral wine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does Sardinia have volcanic soils?
So the Sardinia have a clay soil, volcanic soil. You have a limestone soil. You have you have all of this combination of the soil. Reason why the Canonau de Sardegna, okay, it's different based on where it's planted. Okay, if you planted in north, I mean most of the Canonau, let's say the third of the Canonau is planted in south of Sardinia, because Sardinia is a hot region. They have a hot weather.
Okay.
But of course in south it's way more hot, so it's the perfect climate for the Canonau. So they split basically in two. You have the Canonau, most of the Canonau planted in south, and the Vermentino is mainly in the north of Ireland. Unlike our Vermentino that come from Mogoro area.
And that's where exactly?
Mogoria is in the center of Sardinia, south, I would say, between Cagliari and I will tell you in a second. Oristano, sorry. I always forgot this name. Oristano and Cagliari. You will see here on the map. You have Oristano, Cagliari, and Mogoro is straight here.
Interesting.
In the middle. So another very fascinating thing about Sardinia is that for decades, probably century, they did a bulk wine. Okay, where you have a bulk wine, like in Sicily, it's a massive production wine. We call Vino Sfuso, the bulk wine.
Right.
Okay, the one you can find in the tank.
Yeah.
Okay, that is the bulk wine. Where you find a bulk wine, you will find co-ops. And unfortunately, back in the day, probably 20 years ago, the co-op, they were well known to not produce a great wine. So they always chose quantity instead of quality.
Right.
Massive.
Right. Similar to what Cali does now.
Yeah, this is mean that, of course, when you have quantity, you can't have quality.
Right.
And this is not only with wine, it's with everything.
Right.
Okay. And but what happened, unfortunately, when the European community, the EU, okay, when we had the EU, things changed there with the co-op, because they kind of have this big European community fund, okay, money that come from the European community. So they took this money, they invested. They invested in progressive. They invested in technology. Okay, they invested in research.
For the winemaking process.
Yes, and this changed it. This changed
Interesting.
completely. They still do a massive production, but do way more quality.
Right.
Okay. Way better quality. I mean, you can still see. I remember when I was there, you can still see this. The cop. It's everywhere in the island.
Yeah.
You can literally step in. I remember this family step in the co-op, the cooperative, with this big jar. It's plastic jar. Okay, you just go there. You choose your wine. It's like a pump station.
Like a
okay?
keg?
Yeah, it's like a pump station. You go there. You choose your wine. You fill it up your container. Can be, I don't know, a gallon, 2 gallon, 10 gallon.
Really?
And it's called Vino Sfuso. And it's still going on there, but with a better quality, fortunately.
So you would go fill up your wine. Wouldn't it go bad in 3 days, or?
Not really. I mean, it's go bad, but believe me, they will drink faster.
Yeah.
They will drink faster. I mean, it's not. I don't believe they will leave it there more than 3-4 days.
Yeah.
I met so many Sardinian people there, and what they love to do is drink wine. Drink wine. And speaking about drink wine, I find that also this very interesting about the Cannonau. That Cannonau is somehow related with longevity. Okay, they say who drink Cannonau live longer. Okay, there was a lot of research.
Italy
about
has
this.
A high what do you call it,
Highest
right?
in Sardinia, yes.
Sardinia
They have the
specifically, don't they?
highest longevity. Yeah, it's a Sardinia. So people that live around 90, 100 years old. I mean, it's not related only to wine, of course. It's the
It's the
lifestyle,
lifestyle, yeah.
it's the food, it's the family. Okay, it's all combined together. Of course, a
Right.
couple of drink of wine that help. Okay, this doesn't mean you need to get drunk every day with Cannonau, but a couple of glass of wine can help, especially because they find out inside the Cannonau you have a high concentration of polyphenol and antioxidant. Okay, that help your cardiovascular system. Okay, this can help. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the main reason,
Right.
but definitely help it.
Yeah, it helps.
Yeah.
Talk to me about this one. What would you drink it with? What is the profile? How does it compare to other wines?
I would say Vermentino. It goes well with lobster.
Yeah.
Big time, big time. I will definitely compare with lobster. Have a
Well
nice special.
well seasoned, or just
Uh,
butter?
No, what season? I mean, don't even mention that in Italy.
Okay.
Okay.
We can cut that out. We'll cut it.
It's not what season. It's not natural. You just grill it. You just grill it. You enjoy with some salt, and that's it. That's the beauty. Okay?
Right,
You
right.
don't need crazy ingredient for it. And due to the sapidity, high minerality that the Vermentino has, I would definitely say with the Pecorino. With just a slice of Pecorino cheese, you will enjoy, maybe just enjoy a beautiful view of the sea with the Pecorino. The Cannonau match well with, they call the Porceddo. Is this is pork base? Okay, Porceddo is the baby pork.
Okay.
Okay, and they agree. And the way they made it, I've been part of this when I was there. What they do is they just take this small pig and they roast it literally underground.
Yeah.
You can live for 8 hours, 12 hours, depends how you like it,
Yeah.
and then you just enjoy.
What I've
with the
noticed is
pasta.
there's a lot of cultures that do that, because I'm from Guatemala, and we
Oh,
do
you
that.
do it too?
Yeah, yeah, we do that over there. And then I lived in Hawaii. They have the luau's, and they do the
Interesting.
pork underground. We usually do it with like what is it? A baby bull, chivo is what we call it. Calf,
I don't know.
baby bull, calf.
I mean, they do
whatever.
also with the goat.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
they love goat there in Sardinia.
But I feel
Oh,
like every
I ate
culture
the best
has a barbecue type of underground roasted.
Yeah, we call grill.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, now here we say barbecue because it's a fancy word to say, oh, let's do a barbecue. But yeah, mainly in Italy we say we grill it. We grill it. Plus it's different. Grill it, you just go open air and grill barbecue. What I also find out here, the difference between when I say barbecue, it's you have this big barbecue close, and mainly you smoke the meat.
Hmm.
That's the main difference between barbecue and grill. That's what
Right, right.
friends of mine say.
Interesting. Yeah, because I imagine grilling just putting steak on the grill, letting it kind of sear, create
No,
that edge,
barbecue
and
is more
then
like
what's that?
more,
But grilling for you guys is underground.
it's way more complex barbecue. Yeah, they do. I mean, it's something that now along the way is a bit lost. Don't Not many people they do it anymore there, unless they just, I would say, old people, or if you go on this countryside. I mean, Sardinia is all countrysides, but if you go in the small village, they are way into it. They do it often,
Yeah, I can
and they use
imagine.
also for celebrate it with the wine for any
I can
special
imagine.
occasion.
Yeah, say the same thing for us. We use it for celebrations, stuff like that, quinceañeras. Yeah, and in Hawaii, of course, the luau's is the main thing, tourist attraction. But yeah,
There is always a good reason to celebrate.
yeah, there is. But yeah, I mean, is there anything else that you want to say about either the wines, Sardinia, or anything, any news that you have coming up?
No, the only thing I would love to say, guys, don't stop drinking Italian wine. Please support us. Okay? We love our wine, and please spread the word. And if you ever, of course, beside the Vermentino and the Cannonau, they in Sardinia they have other grape variety. They're not famous like the Vermentino de Cannonau. So what I would love to recommend to everybody is just try new experience.
Right.
Okay, even if you never heard that grape variety, that can be, I don't know. They have the Carignano del Sulcis. They have the Monica. I'm sure most of the people they are not familiar with that. It's not even easy to find in USA, but if you do, please try it.
Hmm.
Give always a chance.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the wine of your life. Maybe you fall in love with that wine. You never know.
Yeah.
Always try it.
Yeah, that's why I'm blessed that I get to try wines all the time to
Yeah.
introduce to the store.
Yeah, one of the reason why our class that we do here once a month, I never introduce wine that I'm sure everybody know.
Right.
Okay, the class in
Right.
comfort zone grape. Why do that? Just offer a new experience, new
Right.
grape. Okay.
Right. Speaking of which, I'll put a link in the bio for the Eventbrite page if you guys live in the DC area and want to learn more about Italian wines. Once a month we go region by region. Next one is Sardinia and
Yeah, we
Puglia.
do. Next is going to be Sardinia and Puglia that we talk next time.
Yeah,
That's very interesting. There is lots of talk about it,
I can
especially
imagine.
about Sardinia. And I believe the next one that is my favorite is going to be Calabria. That,
Your
I'm
home.
from Calabria, so I'm very
Your home.
proud. We will do Calabria.
I'm waiting for Tuscany.
That's why I left
That's
as last classes. We
that's the
miss
very last. We saved the
Sicily,
best for last, if in my opinion.
Sicily and Tuscany. Then we have, of course, the Ischia that I love it. It's part of Campania. So we'll do Campania, Ischia combined together. Ischia is a very tiny, small island in the Mediterranean, right in front of Amalfi Coast.
Huh.
It's a beauty. It's a gem.
Yeah. One last question. What have you been drinking lately? As being in the industry, what you're having dinner? What is your go-to? What's in your glass?
What I've been drinking lately, I would say, and I'm sure many Tanya will be very disappointed right now. Rosé.
Yeah.
So, in Italy, we don't produce that much rosé. I mean, it's time for rosé. Okay. We are not into rosé. You can find probably rosé, the best rosé is from Puglia indeed, and Piedmont. But I discovered this style here in USA, and lately I do enjoy it. I do like it. Do like it here. Now I'm to rosé wine. New rosé from Puglia, from Piedmont. I found out that lately they start to produce also the Nebbiolo rosé. That is
Really?
very great. It's so complex because you have the dry and the tannic of the Nebbiolo grape, okay, but combined with the
Interesting.
fruity of the pulp of the Nebbiolo, and I don't know, it's an explosion of many feeling inside. I love it a lot.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah, I would say rosé. Then depends of the food, of course.
right. Right.
But I always been full body, juicy, and creamier and soft wine. I don't really like tannic wine. I do love in winter time, but I'm more for Primitivo. A
Yeah.
nice Super Toscan. I like it a lot.
Bigger bodies. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I prefer too.
Amarone. I like it
Rosés,
too.
I'm starting to kind of my palate's kind of developing into actually tasting the different levels of the rosé, because before it was just yeah. Well, you gotta just keep drinking it, and then your palate will really develop, and you'll start picking up on everything. Because before it was hard for me to distinguish with rosés.
The rosé,
Yeah.
yeah, when I used to see people drinking rosé, I say, man, what you doing? What you drinking? Drink like a man. Don't drink
Now
like
here
that.
you are.
But now I try. Yeah, now I kind of understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hold on. Now I would say some. Then it's like say seasonal. Now I like rosé. In a month or so, I will switch with the white. I
Yeah.
like super food. Like I love Malvasia. Malvasia, I like. This is another very ancient grape that I always been fascinated. Is from Rome. Okay, it's from Rome area, from Lazio. That is beside the Malvasia del Lazio. We have also the Frascati. The Frascati wine. You see, there's another grape that I'm sure most of the
Yeah, I mean, we can
people
sit here
don't
for
know.
hours and talk
Yeah,
about
yeah. I mean,
days
there is no
even.
end.
Yeah.
There is no end. Believe me.
For sure. But yeah, that concludes the first our first podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. You can find
I
these
hope we
wines
did
here
good.
at, what's that?
I hope we did good.
Yeah, I hope so too. We're gonna
I hope
look
you
at the
enjoyed my
footage and see
accent.
see how much I have to cut out. But you can find these wines here at Verified or our DuPont location, 1717 Connecticut Ave, and then all the info for Attilio's classes that he does here are on Eventbrite page at Verified
Yes.
Wines. And then his wife actually does chocolate making classes too with that he
The wine and
pairs that he
chocolate.
finds wines that pairs with that. So those are I love it. I love what she does at classes, because in here it smells like the whole
Smell of
place
chocolate.
smells like
It's like a
chocolate
dream.
factory. Yeah. I close my eyes, just imagine like I'm at a Willy Wonka factory. Yeah, that's great. And it's funny because she's taught me a lot about the Mayans and Guatemala,
Yeah, she's very
and like
talented
and the
and
cacao and all
and
the history. So
was
those
very
are those are great. But again, you can find these wines and many more. And then usually for the class, you'll have usually
Yeah,
five
we
wines,
present
right?
5 wine. Yeah. We have 2 white, 3 red, sometime a bubble, sometime a rosé. Depends of the region.
Sounds good. All right, that's a wrap,
That's all.
Attilio. Thank you for joining us, and thank
Thank
you for
you.
coming in.
Thank you for having me. Stay tuned.